Welcome back. If you've just joined us, today's show is all about never giving up and in the area of business too. So we have brought our resident business expert, Jonathan Pfahl, to help us with that. Hello, Jonathan.
Hi, Chrissy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well as always.
So another success story from the hub.
Absolutely, yes, yes. It's Michelle and I have known each other for a long time now, and obviously the theme of never giving up is tonight's show, and this is certainly an entrepreneur who never gives up, and I don't think ever will give up.
That's brilliant.
No.
So tell us about what you think of her business. Obviously, I know you think it's great, but to give us a bit more detail about why, what makes it good, and obviously about Michelle herself as well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Michelle is that it is a health spa, you know, it's a beautiful one. She keeps asking me to come and enjoy a day there, and God, I would love to.
You don't have time, do you?
If I found the time to get in the car and spend a day being pampered in a beautiful renovated barn in the rolling hills of Northamptonshire. I'm describing it quite well, aren't I? You've described it to me. You've described it to me that many times and saying, "Get my backside there."
I almost got him up once.
That's true. Oh. That's true. That's true.
Almost.
Almost. But you know, it is a very crowded market. You know, it's not a new technology. It's not something that hasn't yet been done before. So when you are in the early stages of building something like that, what Michelle's done, which is very smart, is to create a point of differential. So in her case, it's designed as a retreat. It's not the small on the high street, come in and get a quick massage. It's nowhere near any public transport. It is in the rolling hills. It's close to a beautiful village, but you have to retreat there. And that's the point of differentiation. And I think whenever you're entering a market where there is a lot of competition there, for a better word, I'm trying to think of a nicer word, but that is the word, finding points of differentiation is key. Building loyalty with the customers, which is something she's very, very good at. And then one of the things that we've always spoken about is how you can do more to get existing customers coming more and more regularly, which is always it's always a challenge. But for someone who is in a space that does have crowding around it, that has a lot of people in it, this is a young woman who is coming up with points of differentiation. She is absolutely committed and driven to make it, and keeping with the theme of tonight, not giving up on her goals.
Just to pick up on something that you said, Jonathan, you mentioned about the loyalty. How did you actually build that loyalty up in your clients? What keeps them coming back?
What keeps them coming back is a remarkable experience each and every time. We're very, very customer-centric. We focus very much on the details. We make sure that at every point in time, each customer's visit is absolutely flawless. You know, from the moment they walk through the door, the way we welcome them, the way we do the consultation, the treatments, the way it's done, it's all very relaxed. It's designed every single step to be the most relaxing, amazing experience possible.
I'm just getting relaxed just thinking about it.
What we do on a daily basis is create memories.
Yeah,
really.
Which is very important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Jonathan, back to the never giving up concept now, because obviously people do go through hard times in business, and it's very stressful. As you keep telling us, I haven't had experience myself, but having my own show sometimes is like having a business. So it does get stressful. But obviously, when sometimes people have this dilemma: should I give up the business, or should I just plough through and try and make it work? What advice would you give to people in that situation?
Thank you for asking me that, firstly, because we turned 8. My company turned 8 years old last week, and it has not been smooth sailing. There are always ups and downs, always. Even now, we're going through a small problem at the moment. Even 8 years in, it doesn't stop. And there's a saying that probably the most famous Prime Minister of Britain once said, Winston Churchill, during World War II. And the saying is, when you are going through hell, you keep going. And whenever I have had difficulties in business, serious difficulties during the recession, how on earth am I going to pay everyone their salary on time this week, this month? That's serious. These are people's livelihoods. I've been there. You're nodding, you've been there. Serious issues. When you are going through hell, why on earth would you give up and stop where you are? And that's how I always see it.
Yeah.
It depends where you are at in the life of your business. You would be a fool to just say, one day I'm going to open up a Manor Spa. I'm going to open up a health spa and away we go, without having properly done the research and proven that there's a market here, that there is a huge number of my ideal clients in the surrounding area that I know could afford this service or products, and there isn't something providing it. That's what Michelle did when she started. So everything on paper justified, same when I set up my first company, same when I looked to invest in a company. Everything on paper says it should work. So as long as you've done that first, when times get tough, physically, when you're going through hell, you keep going, because otherwise you're stuck there. It won't help your situation by just stopping. It will actually, most of the time in business, make it worse. So you've got to keep going. And I'm not usually one for sayings, but the other one I use all the time up here in my head is, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And I believe in that, because if times are tough and you're thinking about giving up, it's always the worst time to give up, when things are at their worst. You fight through it, you keep going through it, and always, when is the debatable question, but always at some point in the future, all of that hard work, all of that pain that you went through, all of those sacrifices you made, often something happens out of the blue, which usually changes the fortune of where you are and where your business is going.
Okay. Now, that's if, for example, like you said at the beginning, if a person has done their research and made sure there's a market for the product. If, because we want to be realistic as well. So if there's a situation where a person hasn't done all of that and they are in the middle of nowhere and there's no customers or anything, obviously that's the time when you would think, okay, maybe I've done this all wrong, let me just scrap it all and start again.
Well, if you're doing that and starting a business that way, Chrissy, you shouldn't be in business. You should just go and get a fabulous job with a wonderful boss in a company that you love being part of, because you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for it. Because when you are going through difficult times and you want to give up, what keeps you going, other than, of course, all the emotional reasons, your kids, your dream, your vision, but the sensible reason you keep going is because you have shown and done that
we've seen
justification at the beginning, because
you've got something to hold on to, haven't you?
Because if you put thousands of pounds of your own money in to start, we gave her, was it how many? 6,000, right? Thereafter, as a loan, which she then paid back over time. You know, you're putting in thousands of pounds to start. So any normal person in business, politely put, doesn't just throw thousands of pounds at an idea and hope that it works from there. So hopefully, if it sounds a bit brutally honest, it's because it is. Well,
the truth hurts, but it's good for you.
It does, exactly.
Now, I just wanted to obviously talk about the mental aspect of these things, the way a person thinks, because to start a business, I think you do have to be quite mentally strong. But there are people, obviously, that are going through lots of problems. Maybe they're depressed. Maybe they're going through certain issues. Obviously, I think it's a good idea that, you know, if the people still have those dreams and goals, but how much does your mental state affect your success in business, would you say?
I think it's hugely important. Hugely important. Michelle was a great example of it before. When you asked Michelle the question in the last segment, when all of this other stuff personally was going through your life, did it affect your business? And Michelle's answer was, my focus became the business, because that was the only sense of normality that I had. And that speaks volumes about Michelle and her mental strength. It's usually the most, when things happen in life and there is that diversity, I'm probably a little bit different to Michelle. If something is wrong with me, if I'm upset about something, I'm pretty bad at hiding it. I cannot, you know, I inherit it from my father, you know. If something is up, whereas my brother's actually an actor, so he's the complete opposite. He can act his way through it. I'm hopeless. If I'm upset or if I'm angry or something's on in my life, it does affect me. It does affect my work. People see right through it. So your mental strength, your mental toughness, it's about taking it each day at a time. You know, I still have Monday-itis. I hate Mondays.
Really?
Right? Oh, God, yeah. I leave work on Friday. I have a fantastic weekend. Everything's great. And I still naturally wake up Mondays thinking that everything's wrong and things need to be fixed, whereas it was only 2 days ago, everything was fine.
Okay.
But by Tuesday, I'm fine again.
Yeah,
it's great. So, no, your mental toughness is very important. And at the end of the day, once you're 8 years in, 2 years in, 3 years in, you just become more and more mentally strong.
Yeah.
You know, when
It's
times...
like practice, isn't it, with certain things that you're doing?
I think it's something that you have to develop all the time, constantly. You have to be constantly working on it every day.
I mean, I set my company up in September 2007, 15th of September 2007, so it was our birthday last week.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you, thank you. The next month was the start of the recession. And and then it just went downhill from then until 2011, mid-2011.
Wow.
So whenever I'm having issues with little day things or big things now in my business, I just close my eyes and I think back to 2010.
I've done it before and I'll do it again.
When
I'll
I
get
lost
through this.
hundreds of thousands of pounds, and I thought, you know, I think, actually, in comparison, this is a walk in the park. So that helps as well.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for coming and talking to us. Thank you for sharing your story and all the best for the future. And Jonathan, we'll see you again soon, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Always
so
a
much for
pleasure.
your advice, as usual. All right, guys, so 2 great examples there of never giving up and that you can push yourself if you really want something. Well, after this quick break, I'll be giving my top tips on how I mentally push myself to go the extra mile, which is also very important. So we're back after this.